How does a man escape from one of the most secure holding cells in the city, only to vanish without a trace? And how does he do it through a tunnel that supposedly doesn't exist? Today, we unravel the baffling story of the master thief who outwitted everyone, except perhaps the truth itself. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more thrilling mysteries like this one. And here's a question for you. If you had to pull off one perfect heist, what would it be? Let us know your answer in the comments below. Victor the Fox. Grant wasn't just a thief, he was a phenomenon. His daring heists were whispered about in darkened pubs and grand ballrooms alike. Before the infamous Crown Jewels heist, Grant's most legendary escapade involved the Verona Diamonds, one of Europe's most prized collections. The year was 1953, and the diamonds were on display at a high-security auction in Paris. The world's wealthiest elites were in attendance, but so was Grant, disguised as a suave aristocrat. Over the course of a single evening, he charmed the hostess, distracted the guards, and made off with the entire collection without a single alarm being triggered. Why did he do it? The answer lay in a woman named Isabelle Duval, a French singer with a voice that could silence an entire room. Isabelle wasn't just his lover, she was his obsession. The Verona Diamonds were her dream, and for Grant no price was too high. But Isabelle was more than a muse. She was his weakness. After gifting her the diamonds, whispers began to spread of Grant's devotion. It was said he'd do anything for her, even risk capture. And so when Isabelle told him she'd always dreamed of wearing the crown jewels, not replicas but the real ones, Grant began planning his boldest heist yet. The crown jewels weren't just valuable, they were iconic. Stealing them would be an act of sheer audacity, and Grant knew it. But for Isabelle, he would defy even the impossible. In early 1957, Grant executed the plan with precision that stunned even the most seasoned investigators. Disguised as a museum curator, he infiltrated the heavily guarded display, bypassing state-of-the-art security systems with tools he'd designed himself. By the time the alarm was raised, Grant was already gone, the crown jewels in hand. But fate had other plans. A tip-off from an unknown source led the police to Grant's safe house. He was arrested within hours, the jewels recovered. Many believed Isabelle had betrayed him, though no evidence ever surfaced to confirm this. Grant was taken to a high-security holding cell in London, the police eager to interrogate him and uncover the extent of his operations. Yet, despite the heavy surveillance, he vanished. Let me set the scene. It was a damp, stormy evening, and the air inside the station was thick with tension. Grant was locked in a windowless room with only a steel door separating him from his captors. The guards checked on him at 7:45 p.m. By 8 p.m., the room was empty. The door was still locked, the cameras showed nothing, and there were no signs of forced entry. And then, they found the tunnel. A perfectly smooth, narrow passageway had appeared beneath the floor, leading deep into the earth. Yet when the authorities mapped the surrounding area, they discovered something baffling. The tunnel didn't connect to anything. It ended abruptly, as if it had never truly existed. Theories swirled. Had Grant built the tunnel himself? Had he bribed someone inside the precinct? Or was there something more unexplainable at play? The guards claimed they'd heard faint whispers before discovering the passage, whispers that seemed to echo from the very walls. 3 weeks later, a note arrived at Scotland Yard. Written in Grant's distinctive script, it read, "Love and freedom are always worth the risk. The Fox." You might wonder how I know all this. The truth? My grandfather was one of the officers on duty that night. He spoke of Grant with a mix of admiration and fear. "That man wasn't just a thief," he'd say. "He was a phantom, and that tunnel, it wasn't natural." I've seen the photos, the polished walls, the unnerving perfection. Whatever built that passage, it wasn't made by human hands. At least, not ordinary ones. Grant was never seen again, though sightings of him and Isabelle surfaced in whispers for decades. Some claimed they fled to the Caribbean. Others believed they hid in the Alps. As for Isabelle, she vanished too. Her legacy tied forever to the man who'd risked everything for her. So what do you think? Was Grant's escape a result of meticulous planning, or did something more extraordinary help him slip through the cracks of reality? Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that challenge what we think we know. And don't forget to tell us in the comments, would you risk everything for love, or would you let the jewels remain out of reach?